Help! I am concerned that I seriously despise and am repulsed all men. Disclaimer: yes, I know this is not healthy, not normal and wrong. Yes, I am seeking therapy. I am simply wondering if anyone else has gone through a similar thing or phase. I genuinely despise men. Not in the jokey or unserious way. I am mentally disturbed and nauseated by them. I do not want to be this way. I feel so uncomfortable and distrustful of them to the point I have to now actively limit all my romantic contact with them for the sake of my mental health. I constantly have flashbacks to the times where men I have seen have pushed my boundaries and just seen me as a piece of meat. I am convinced by their behavior towards me that no man has ever seen me as more than someone to fill in their time, boredom, and an eventual sex toy. Unfortunately, I am very attracted to men. I am heterosexual. However, I feel extremely isolated because I have never met another woman who actively abstains sexually from the opposite sex because of this. I, for the life of me, can't convince myself to get involved in hookup culture either. You can look at my other post for a bit of backstory or perhaps the trigger to these strong feelings. That's not to say I can't recognize many of positive qualities of some men. I admire my dad and I have had some good male friendships. But I can see here how they make terrible partners. Or how their views and ideals of certain women are appalling. Edit. Thank you for all the responses. I have 'em reading every single one. You guys have made me feel so validated in my emotions. I hope we all can heal. I went through a phase like this until I adopted a mindset of decentralizing men from your life. For me, it was hearing how they think we lose value as we age, and deciding that I would prioritize things in life that will still be around when I start getting wrinkly: family, friends, career, hobbies, life experiences, etc. Whether you dislike them or are just more indifferent like me, just put them at the bottom of your list of priorities and how they are what they think will matter. A lot less, if at all. Unfortunately, I have the same issue with the men of the same race as me, South Asian. I know that not all of them are bad, but since an early age I have experienced so much misogyny from them that I am physically repulsed and nauseated by them. I don't know if I have any good advice other than I have focused on my own healing and I don't do anything to make other people happy. If it is repulsive to me, it is repulsive to me, and I am done making myself a doormat for others. Because I am straight, I still feel attracted to men sexually, but I have gotten a lot better at identifying and avoiding red flags. I don't feel like that, but I do feel largely indifferent to them. Don't want to interact with them. Don't want their attention in any way, shape or form, positive or negative. I don't enjoy their company much. I have male-dominated hobbies and I would genuinely prefer not to have to do my hobbies with them. I've been feeling this way too. I'm aware that my opinion of men has diminished drastically in the past few years. Between my own experiences and reading about the experiences of other women, I just can't help but feel like it's too dangerous to date men. It's impossible to tell up front between the good ones and the bad ones. And the bad ones can be very bad. I am single and I'm actively choosing not to date because of my active distaste for men in general. This was me a year or so ago. Celibate for a year and a half. Constantly posting memes about hating men. Some of them are still funny. I post them for the girls. But I realized that there was a positive aspect. And that was how much closer it made to women in general. And so instead of obsessing over how much I hate men, I've leaned into how much I love women. Much more rewarding. It's possible you're in the stage of awakening to the pervasiveness of women's deliberate misuse and victimization at the hands of men by societal design. And that your extreme reaction to men is part of the shock and grief of realizing that. It is understandable. It also may wane into a more detached dislike for and avoidance of men with time. Nothing wrong with that. 3 years celibate. I don't have a visceral reaction to them. But the thought of disturbing my life with a man and his BS makes me ill. Unless you hurt them the way misogynists hurt women, I don't see nothing wrong with the way you feel. It's a valid reaction in the world we live in. I'd even say it's self-defense. Therapy may be a good way to find ways to handle the feeling of isolation. A friend of mine is in the same position and she is dedicating more time to know herself better. She started reading more, got new hobbies, focused on her career, etc. Girl, I just broke up with someone who reassured me in the morning that I am everything he wants. And he will always be by my side, and then 5 hours later told me 4 times I deserve a better man. So when I broke up with him and said yes I do, he tried to get me back by apologizing and saying he doesn't want us to end. Well, we ended when you told me 4 times I need a better man. Will never be married again and really don't give a shit if I never date a man again or involved in any way with men ever. Oh man, that's really wild. I was actually thinking about posting this exact thing. I feel like I've been radicalized against men. But at the same time, it does seem like most men don't see us as people. I don't know what to think. I am disgusted by them. I hate men, and although I am heterosexual, I stopped dating them. I realized I don't actually need a man in my life and I feel safer this way. There are many women like you. And I don't think your expression of the trauma from men is invalid. It can make for difficult romantic relationships, but if you're not interested anyway, then who cares? Yeah, that's actually very understandable. Enjoy separatism. Watch media made for and by women. In 2019, I spent the year only reading books written by women. I didn't miss men at all. It was great. Have great girlfriends. Visit your girl cousins, aunts and grandmas. I felt like that when I first realized how shittily women are treated by men systemically and for how long. The mockery, the violence, the entitlement. Once you see it, you can't unsee. It takes a while to reconcile. But it's really fucking hard to trust men. There are a few good ones out there, but make them earn it. Don't settle for someone who disrespects you in any way. If it takes you a little while to be able to date again, that's fine. Just work through your feelings. There is no right or wrong way to feel. And if you decide to never date men again, that's okay, too. You are not a lone heart. Misandry is a reasonable reaction to a misogynistic world. This is normal. I'm incredibly wary of men now. Had a really rocky few years and was heavily exploited while I was very vulnerable. Have recovered for the most part and am doing well in my career and friendships with women. So loads to be thankful for. I do feel lonely for company though, and I don't know how to use all the self-knowledge I now have to date anyone successfully. The thought of policing male behavior just feels exhausting and I can't be bothered. Not much help then. But I hear you XXX. If I'm being honest, I assume the worst of men when I meet or see one. That's a horrible mindset, sure, but it's helped me throughout my life. And this is coming from someone who has a younger brother whom I love dearly. This is normal and you shouldn't be ashamed. I am in the same phase and I want to maintain minimal interaction with them until my death. I think a lot of women are beginning to see just how terrible men treat them. It's natural to be angry. I'm disgusted by men, too, and only date women and non-binary people now. I've seen my mother be abused by 3 different alcoholic husbands. Plus I've been raped a few times. It's hard to heal from this collective wound that many women seem to have. Have compassion for yourself as you heal. Remember that anger is a useful emotion that shows you what you don't want.